I'm gonna be so real. We are here 100% because of Catherine O'Hara. And we'll get to her. I promise I will get to her in a moment. But first, hello. Welcome. I am Simon, and I'm here to talk about my latest silly little TV show, which is, of course, Schitt's Creek. Now, right after Catherine O'Hara died, I was like, I want to watch The Studio, and then I want to watch Schitt's Creek, and then I remembered that I don't have Apple TV, and I do have HBO, so I watched Schitt's Creek first. And here we are. Here I am talking about a show that finished airing many a year ago now, but that I have just watched for the first time, and I have thoughts. This is going to be very similar to my other little silly TV show discussions, so like, if you enjoy those, you'll like this one maybe. I don't know, depending on how you feel about Schitt's Creek. But let's get into it. I would like to start by talking about the characters. I have complicated feelings about the characters. Specifically, if we look at like the Rose clan, the parents I'll get to in a second. I hate those kids. I unfortunately really hate those kids, and it's extra unfortunate because I really like both of their love interests. My Schitt's Creek hot take that is or is not a hot take. I don't know what the girls think. The show stopped airing years ago, but my hot take is that neither one of them deserve those men. They should both go to me. I deserve both of those men. Those kids did not deserve either of their men, right? Like, David did not deserve Patrick. Alexis did not deserve Ted. I'm dying on that hill. He never should have gotten back together with her. I'm not strong enough emotionally in this moment. Neither one of them, they both pissed me off so bad. Other than that, I did like the parents. The parents were. We'll come back to the parents because I want to talk about Catherine O'Hara for like a good couple minutes. What other characters are important in this show? Stevie, I obviously loved Stevie. I feel like anyone who knew me in real life, most of whom were recommending I watch the show as it was airing. My mom was like an OG Schitt's Creek viewer. I think she watched it before season 2 was even out. Don't quote me on that. But she watched it like way back in the day and was watching it. And every time she'd be like, Simon, you would love this show. And I was like, I don't have the strength to deal with that right now. I was watching whatever I was watching. I was like 17. I was probably watching Family Guy, knowing me. Either way, I was watching something else. But like everyone was like, you would love Schitt's Creek. And I feel like in their minds, they were thinking of two specific characters. One of which is Stevie. And yes, that is correct. I do in fact really like Stevie. I do hate most of her romantic arcs. Maybe it's just my life and the life I've lived. I don't really care for romance in my shows. Like I'm fine with it, but it never really like is that factor for me with a few exceptions. I say heated rivalry sits on a table in my line of sight. But I loved Stevie. I thought she was funny. She has my sense of humor. Like that dry, very sarcastic sense of humor is my sense of humor. And I do unfortunately feel like we would be besties. I really hope that doesn't mean I have to be besties with Dave. I don't want to do that. I don't want to be besties with that man. But I do want to be besties with Stevie. I loved Stevie. Roland pissed me off, but he was supposed to. Like he wasn't supposed to be like, oh my god, I love this man. He was supposed to be like, haha, he's really fucking annoying. And he was. I liked him on rare occasions. I definitely liked him more once he like actually like got involved in the motel and was like a real character and wasn't just like popping up sporadically to piss me off. Who else is in this show? Ronnie was fun. I wanted more of Ronnie. I felt like Ronnie, whenever she was in a scene, I was like, that's my girl. And I love her. And then she was never in scenes. Who else is in the show that really matters to me? I don't know. We're switching to the parents now. I'm so real. I have nothing to say about that, man. I want to talk about Moira Rose. I want to talk about Catherine O'Hara and Moira Rose, and I want to talk about it extensively because that's the other character I am 100% sure people were thinking of when they were recommending the show to me. I feel like everyone who knew me, even before I was like out, was like, this boy would love Moira Rose. And they weren't wrong. She's a delight. Her accent, the way she speaks, her obsession with the wigs, her obsession with herself, the way she views herself. I'm very embarrassed to say, I feel like in another life with like two different slight changes, I am Moira Rose. At least like psychologically, I am Moira Rose. It would not take much. I do have a very similar sense of my own self-importance. I say as I sit with a YouTube channel that has like no subscribers talking ad nauseum about whatever interests me, but that's what this channel's for. This channel's for me to yap. So like there's that. I also definitely, I say would have a drinking problem. There were other substances. I'm more of a Rose. And I love her so much. She's so funny. I was laughing at Schitt's Creek, like audibly, like I burst out laughing. Probably minimum 60% of the time, I was laughing at Moira. I did also like her dynamic with Jocelyn. Like, at first, they're not that interesting, but, like, as the show goes on, I did actually really like them. I feel like they needed more bestie arcs, frankly, like, because we got a lot of, like, David and Stevie. We didn't get a lot of, like, Moira and Jocelyn as, like, a duo. We got them, like, around other people with, like, Twilight and stuff. I have no thoughts on Twilight. If you were curious of my thoughts on Twilight, I have thoughts on Mutt. Oh, I want to talk about my thoughts on Mutt. Let me finish Moira, and then I'll circle back to Mutt. But I loved her. She was so fun. Everything about her just filled me with absolute glee, absolute delight. When she was on that fuck-ass Crow movie and was squawking sporadically and then making every single human being under the sun watch the trailer, I love her. She is the sole reason I watched the show, and I couldn't have thought of a better reason. Okay, now let me circle back to mine. My thoughts on Mutt are very interesting. In the sense of when he first showed up, like, in episode 1, I'm like, oh, that man's really hot. And then the more I saw his face, I was like, oh. And then he shaved, and I audibly gagged. I can't even deny it. That episode where he shaved and he, like, showed up in the bed, I literally made a sound that I don't think I could recreate if I tried. Because I literally gagged. It was awful. It was the worst thing I'd ever seen. And then ever since that, even when the beard, like, came back, I couldn't look at him the same. I couldn't look at him the same. He looked awful. Actually, I lied. I want to talk more about romance also. The romance in the show, very hit or miss for me. I actually disliked most of it. That's a lie. It wasn't hit or miss. I was actually predominantly negative toward. For starters, after, like, their first breakup, I never liked Ted and Alexis. So, and that's, like, half of it, right? And I didn't like really any of Stevie's romance arcs. And once you take that out, I'm literally just left with my gaze. And I did enjoy my gaze. I'm going to be so real. Can I confess something? Is this a safe space? When Patrick performed Simply the Best for David, I cried. My close friends can attest, I was texting all of them about how I need that. About how if you see a man performing Simply the Best for me, don't interrupt. I understand being serenaded in public will make you want to do something drastic. And if I'm there, I'm exactly where I want to be. Maybe. Depending on how long we've been dating. But, like, that scene did something insane to me. I have watched that scene, just that one scene. I have watched that scene back probably 5 times. At a minimum. I first saw it like 2-3 weeks ago max. Because, like, I started Schitt's Creek like 2 weeks after Catherine O'Hara died. And that was like a month ago. So, like, I saw that scene recently. I keep coming back to it. It's so cute. I do, unfortunately, simultaneously hate them as a couple, and I love them as a couple. I think I just like Patrick. Because Patrick in many ways is me. Like, that's a Finn bro, and I haven't brought it up lately. I do have a bachelor's degree in accounting, and, like, he's just a bro. I'm not just a bro. I'm a lot of things. I'm not just a bro. Maybe it's just that, like, I love that man. I love that man. That man, give him to me, because David doesn't deserve everything. Like, their proposal pissed me off so bad. Like, if that were me, if I were Patrick, I straight up would dump that man. Like, after that hike, I would have left that man. Because David makes me crazy. And I think it's similar to Moira, but, like, the reverse, where, like, I do see a lot of myself in him. But the Moira stuff that I see is the parts of me that I like. The parts of me that I think are fun. And the David is the parts of me that I can't stand. Just, like, a little bit. The parts of me that when you point it out to me, I will get really defensive about it. One of my best friends can attest that she has pointed out that he reminds her of me. And I got really, really mad about it. So, like, I didn't like the romance, except for the very rare moments where Patrick made me feel a lot of feelings really strongly. What else do I want to talk about with this show? I feel like the show was funny. Here's my thing. This is going to be my really, really controversial stance. This is not related to Schitt's Creek. This is television as a general media. I don't like a lot of comedies. There are comedies I love, like Hacks. I watch Abbott Elementary religiously. Okay, that's my go-to plane show. If I'm on a plane and there's Abbott Elementary to watch, I'm watching Abbott Elementary. I've seen some of those episodes like 5 times. But as like a whole, right? I don't like comedies. And I don't mean like the Big Bang Theory type of comedy or even like the Modern Family type of comedy. I've never watched The Office, right? Arrested Development, Parks and Rec. Those shows are not for me because I don't usually find them funny. I feel like I can actually defend this. I explained it poorly when one of my coworkers called me out for it, but my thing is that I feel like for a comedy like that, you do have to aim for the lowest common denominator, and those jokes aren't funny. Like I'm not gonna laugh at a dumb fart joke, right? So like a lot of like those types of shows I don't like. But Schitt's Creek is that. Schitt's Creek has a lot of that. Specifically all around ruined. But like there's a lot of the show that is really funny. As a whole, I think it got funnier over time. The first like 1 to 2 seasons, it was pretty funny. And then it got really funny in like season 4. I remember one of my best friends has never finished the show. She watched like 1 season of it and then was like, it's not good, and never finished it. And I was like, no, you're real for that? Because like I watched season 1 in like 2 days. Right? Like I tore through this show. So I was like, okay, if you were wondering where it gets good, season 4 is where it gets like really good. And I stand by that. I do believe that. I believe season 4 is where the show gets like actually like good, where I'm like genuinely compelled, where I'm delighted with every episode I watch. That's, if I had to rank the seasons, oh God. Off the top of my head, because I watched them really fast, they might be a little blurred. 4, 6, 5, and then just 3, 2, 1. That's my ranking of the seasons of Schitt's Creek. If you were curious, I believe I am correct on this matter, and no one can tell me I'm wrong. Anyway, I think that's all I got now. I do kind of feel like death in this moment. I got 3 hours of sleep last night, and I worked 10 hours straight today and 10 hours yesterday, and I didn't take a lunch break today. I didn't eat lunch today. All I've eaten today is I had like a breakfast sandwich. At this point, a solid 9 hours ago. And I had some Welch's fruit snacks that I stole from the HR office, and that's about it. So I'm going to go and have some soup. In the meanwhile, you can like and subscribe if you want to or don't. I'll be fine either way. I don't make any money off this channel. You can also comment whatever you want down below. Let me know your thoughts on Moira Rose. Let me know other shows that you actually think are like of Schitt's Creek level quality, and maybe I'll watch them. You can comment whatever you want. I really don't care. Other than that, yeah, thank you again for watching. Bye!